point. Now, performance-wise, this phone when it first came out had that Apple A9 chip inside of it, the dual-core CPU, and then 2 GB of RAM on every single model that came out. Now, what I can tell you is that first of all, the performance of this phone for a 5-year-old device in 2021 is still pretty good. Okay, I'll be completely honest. This phone is not like a 5 or 6-year-old Android device. I feel like with Androids, they age a little bit differently. Apple and these type of devices, they age so well that honestly, you can pick up a phone like an iPhone 4 or iPhone 3GS and still kind of feel like you have a pretty okay phone. Obviously, it's going to be a horrible experience, but the 6S Plus is not a horrible experience in 2021. It's still pretty good, and if it ends off with iOS 14 and nothing detrimental happens to the experience, you're going to have a really good time with it, in my opinion. Now, it's not that fast, and it's not, the best graphically performing device out there. To give you some examples, if you're playing a game, if you're playing Real Racing 3, you're going to see skip frames, you're going to see some glitches here and there, and if you're trying to open up Real Racing 3, you're going to have a faster experience on something like an iPhone 12. App opening speeds, smoothness, the gesture-based design, those things are huge added benefits to something like an iPhone 12 over an iPhone 6S Plus. However, the biggest difference is, in my opinion, that once those apps are loaded, once the iPhone 6S Plus has an app that's already loaded on it, it's pretty much you're good to go. If you have Snapchat loaded, if you have, Instagram or whatever you're going to go through, you're going to have a good time with it. Like, it's going to be almost the same. It's not until you get into those bigger apps and games that you start to see some more glitchness and skip frames and all that stuff. But on top of that, RAM management is another huge problem with these type of devices that are older. So realistically, the newer phones, you'll be able to multitask much better and much smoother from those type of devices than the iPhone 6S Plus. So that's another very big thing to keep in mind. But the smoothness is still there. The speed, I think, is kind of there too for a 5 or 6-year-old device. But honestly, I don't think anybody's planning on this thing being like the fastest performing phone anymore. So I think it's actually still pretty impressive in this day and age, if I'm being completely honest. So in terms of performance, that's honestly how I would kind of sum it up in 2021. Now ending.